Hey, two picklers. Tony here at the 2019 Mentos U.S. Open in Naples, Florida. I'm here with a new friend of mine, Philippe Bédard. I think I pronounced that correctly. Is that close?
Perfect.
Thank you, Philippe. This last Saturday, I had the pleasure of watching Philippe and his partner, Jean-François, play a match. It was a four wheelchair player match, pair pickleball match. It was a fantastic match. The play and the strategy and everything was fantastic. And I asked Philippe to please, if you would allow me to capture some of the information so that other players that may want to play the sport can access this information. And so, Philippe, thank you very much for agreeing to do this.
My pleasure.
The thing I'd like to go over, Philippe, if we can, is a little bit of your background and maybe how you got into the sport. We all have our story as to how we came into pickleball, but if you can tell us a little bit about your pickleball, or your background actually, and how you got into pickleball.
Yes, so I come from the wheelchair tennis world. Played about 10 years on tour. Did Paralympics. I'm the #1 ranked wheelchair tennis player in Canada I'm 14 times champion, right? Singles and doubles. So my good friend Jean-François, this guy has been playing for 2 years, and he played a bit with me in wheelchair tennis in Canada. He got into pickleball and he really wanted me to follow him in the sport, and so I retired from wheelchair tennis last year and joined the team, the pickleball team, 6 months ago in Quebec, Canada. And I'm here at the U.S. Open this week. It's
fast.
It's amazing.
6 months later, playing at the U.S. Open. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we were talking about earlier is about the accessibility of this sport. I mean, it's a sport for anybody. Actually, it's a very accessible sport. Entry and the barrier to entry is very low in terms of, I think, for skills, type of skills you need, and the size of court and things like that. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit. Accessibility of pickleball.
Yeah, absolutely. From the wheelchair tennis world, I mean, it's a tough sport to play. We have a big court to cover. Wheelchair pickleball, smaller court, and all the play comes at the net, so it's easier. There's less movements in pickleball. I mean, the motions of swinging is mostly the same as tennis. We can play easily with standing people, so one up, one down. It has a good mix.
I've seen matches. I think I've seen matches out here where it's like 3 up, 1 down. Is any kind of combination works, right, in the sport?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Saturday doubles with a standing and mixed double with a standing too.
Okay.
So,
and it's great that it's an accessible sport for everybody. What type of equipment? Is there any type of special equipment that you need in order to play pickleball that somebody would need to access?
Yes, absolutely. We need a sports chair. So there's camber in the wheels, right? So it turns faster, is the most stability, and then anti-tip in the back, so we don't flick back.
Gotcha.
So it's more aggressive chair. It turns faster and it's more stable. I couldn't use everyday chair to play. It's too dangerous and it's not fast enough. So.
Before when we were talking, you were mentioning, because your background is in tennis and a high level of tennis, and that there's a difference in the accessibility of the sport of tennis and the sport of pickleball in terms of pickleball versus tennis. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, it's difficult to play wheelchair tennis up north in Canada because we have big winters and we have to play indoors. And the sports is not really accessible if you're not sponsored by a club or something. It costs a lot, especially for an athlete that trains every day. So it's pickleball is a lot more accessible price-wise because you can play everywhere. I mean, in a church, in a gym, school, everywhere. So, and the sport is growing, and it's more accessible.
You're from Montreal, Canada, correct?
Yes,
That's where you're based out of.
Yep.
And I think you had mentioned that in Canada there's organizations that have, I don't know exactly the term, but like a floater chair or chairs that people can use if they want to try it before they get into it.
Yeah, actually in Quebec, Canada, I think we have the biggest group of pickleball. We're developing the sport everywhere. We're asked to come to Myrtle Beach to develop the sport, to show how it's played. Right? We developed all the rules, and I'd say it's the pickleball center in in the world.
If anybody viewing the video would be interested in playing pickleball, what would you recommend? What would be like a next step that someone could take to find out more information or to get involved in that, whether in Quebec or somewhere else? Do you have any suggestions on how to get involved?
Well, the first thing is to find a place where to get a sports chair. And after that, it's easy. You search for where the pickleball is played in your city, and you just join the group because you can play with anyone. It's easy.
Sure.
You just need 2 bounces, and you play with 1 up, 1 down, or it's easy. Yeah.
Is there an association that a player could reach out to if they're interested in learning more about para pickleball?
Yes, absolutely. We'll send the link of Para Pickleball Quebec.
Okay.
And all the rules are there, and the places you can play, and the equipment you need, and yeah.
One thing that we're going to be doing as well is we're going to be putting together a video with Philippe and Jean-François showing some of the mechanics of how to play para pickleball, showing how to make a stroke, how to move around the court and things like that, and hopefully that'll be helpful to anybody who wants to get involved in the sport and grow the sport, because it is I'm a pickleball player as well. It's a fantastic sport. It's just a beautiful sport to play, and if you get into it, I think you'll get addicted, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Philippe.
Right on. Right, let's play.
It's a 4-5 match.
Maybe capture some of the information and
Bloopers.
I love how
Second blooper.
I love how they train.
Third.
Okay, 4-3, play 2-11, win by 2. You go switch game and you switch at 6.
They don't see the camera.
Wait a
They don't see the
minute,
camera.
stop.
There we go. There we go.